Hello, everybody. We're doing this a bit later than we usually do, and that's entirely my fault because one, had a job interview, and two, really not feeling very well. So, Byron, you're gonna have to carry the show.
That's gonna be tough.
So we're doing a doubleheader today. This is the 205 Live from June 20th and the June 21st NXT. To kind of sum it up, I really did enjoy 205 Live. It was quality. And NXT, I didn't really enjoy nearly as much, but it was what you would call one of those developmental shows. I mean, it is, after all, developmental territory. So you're gonna get some episodes that are not particularly amazing, but might lead to something amazing down the road.
Yeah, it definitely struck me as a very much a setup episode for stuff.
So we open up 205 with Akira Tozawa being recruited by Titus Brand. And the only real new thing here is Titus Brand playing with a Rich Swann and saying, "You too have the makings of a great future member of the Titus Brand." And basically, Titus thinks Akira's playing hard, but Akira's just really saying no. But he's gonna get some more stuff. That's how this kind of works.
Hooray! Yeah, I just thought it was good. Titus had a pretty good joke about Rich Swann's like ridiculously bad hair. Like his haircut makes him look like he's homeless or 60, one or the other. And it was pretty funny. He called him something like, "Dude, you ain't the weekend" or something like that. And it was just good to see that they're actually having progression of a story. That's always good to see. Maybe they've only got 10 or 13 writers doing this one than 60 or 90.
Mm-hmm. We move on to, just a note here. Vic Joseph is on commentary again. So no more Tom Phillips and Corey Graves? No!
I honestly can't tell him apart from Corey Graves. They look the same.
They really don't look that much the same, but
they are virtually identical.
Then we get Gentleman Jack Gallagher versus Tony Nese. This was not overly a spotty match, but it was reasonably well, and I also liked the use of the schoolboy at the end as a almost offensive slam weapon, which was kind of neat.
Yeah, they kind of botched the finish, but other than that, it was good times. I liked the bicycle sit-up kick thing. That was good. And they cut to Austin Aries in the back watching TV like he's a normal human person with eyeballs and, body mass and visual centers. So that was good. You got to watch a guy really looking at the screen rather than watching a guy staring back into the camera and glancing at the screen out of a corner of his eye because he's perpendicular to it.
Yup, that was good. They finally figured out the art of making someone watch TV and filming them.
It's taken them a while. It's been a long road, but I think they've made some real progress here.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, Tony gets the slightly cheap win, is basically the storyline here. And that will play in later. Noam Dar and Alicia Fox are on the phone. Noam Dar really doesn't want to do anything more with Cedric Alexander. Hey, Noam Dar thinks like I do. Excellent. Cedric apparently also wants to move on, but he came into this conversation, which, makes me think that he doesn't want to move on.
Yeah, methinks he does protest too much. So this is like the 9th week in a row he's come in and gone, "I don't want any more part of you." Like, but you're the one who walked in the room and you're the one who tracked me down. This makes zero sense. Is this a stalker angle in the making? Is this just 90,000 writers in a room throwing crap at each other?
This is just bad. I mean, this feud should be over. That's just the period of this.
They had a blow-off match, and the next week he didn't want anything to do with him, so they had a blow-off match. And the week after that, he didn't want anything to do with him, so they had a blow-off match. And this week, they didn't want to do anything with each other, so they had a blow-off promo, which will lead to a blow-off match next week.
Yeah, because we're not done, because, Noam and Alicia, Noam threw his bag in the river, which turned out to be Daivari bag, which was worth $15,000.
I have a note.
It was two of a kind, and his dad gave it to him.
I have a note here that says, "Ha, he threw away the bad man's bag."
Yep.
And also I have another note that says more like Noam Dork.
I really want this feud to be over, but I was actually looking at the roster, and 205 Live does suffer from a serious lack of heels.
I have one further question.
Sure.
Why does Alicia Fox always refer to Cedric Alexander by his entire and full name at every opportunity?
I have no idea.
Hello, Cedric Alexander.
I
have come to talk with you, Cedric Alexander. Cedric Alexander, would you like to shut up?
Is this something that bitchy girls is supposed to do? I don't know.
I don't know.
Is there some cultural taupe being played out here? I don't know.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand that. But 205 Live does significantly lack any real heels. They have like roughly 50% heels, but they're all to a degree joke heels, like Tony Nese and Noam Dar and Daivari and stuff like that. You really only have on the strong heel side, you have Neville, to an extent Drew Gulak, and that's about it, really. I guess with TJP kind of in this metamorphosis towards face side. So hopefully the Austin Aries heel turn comes really quickly, so we can have someone to elevate things, because I really want this feud to end, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't really know what I would do with Cedric after this feud. It's really not a heel to elevate him to.
No.
Unless Kendrick gets healthy.
Kendrick Lamar? What? That doesn't make any sense.
The Brian Kendrick, sir. The Brian.
Oh, the Brian Kendrick Lamar. Yeah. Pretty much just kind of entirely. I've been more done with this feud since before Cedric Alexander came back.
Kinda, because they really messed it up with the Rich Swann portion of the feud, and now it's even more awkward. Like I thought Cedric Alexander coming back would be, all right, this is gonna be the way we blow off this feud. This is gonna be good, and it has not been.
Less than ideal at best.
We get Mustafa Ali versus Drew Gulak. It's basically the fly zone versus the no fly zone.
Yeah, that was a pretty good match. I don't really, again, there weren't really, there's nothing really here to write home about per se. It was just a good match. Obviously this sets up something for, like, if that was the blow off match, cool. They need to move on quickly so that we don't, nobody's sitting around wondering where's the blow off match. So, other than that, yeah,
Admittedly, this didn't feel like really a blow-off match, though. I mean, they are 1-1 in this feud, and this didn't really have a big hype feel to it of a blow-off match, so you can do more with these two.
Oh, totally, but they don't know how to hype matches anymore. They just kind of have people show up. So I have to assume every match is a blow-off match at this point, because they're really not good at actually ending feuds or beginning new feuds. Yeah, it's just not really clear. I do have a note here that I wonder if they're going to have Gulag. I wrote it down as Drew Gulag. I wonder if they're going to have Gulag do a high spot at some point to kind of try and get over on the babyface, but that seems pretty ludicrous, and therefore they probably will do that.
Yeah, probably. The only thing really about the match to note is that Mustafa Ali did a really good job of selling the injured elbow without it completely dominating the match. Even though, like, a lot of Gulak's offense was about it, Gulak did it in a lot of different ways and was actually creative with working the arm. So, WWE superstars who have to work a body part, watch this match, because you can do it more than like one or two ways.
And you don't have to have it cripple your entire goddamn match.
Exactly. Ali wins with a... Basically, the sequence is he goes for the second rope drop kick, gets caught, but reverses Gulak and pins him. So, he lost to Gulak in the first match by going for a high-flying maneuver and getting pinned, and he wins this one with some good old-fashioned wrestling. So he's kind of evolving, which is nice.
Give me old razzle-dazzle.
So, I mean, there's more to this story, I would think, but I also think that there's nothing to Noam Dar's story at this point, and we're still doing it. So, Nothing really makes sense. Then we have Gentleman Jack and Austin Aries backstage, and the highlight of this was the Honda line.
Yeah. I believe we have an Accord. Well, I drive a Lincoln, but I like Hondas.
This seems to be leading to maybe some kind of prolonged heel turn from Austin Aries, which
I don't know. They're not good at prolonged. They're probably going to have him turn heel at the next time they're even close to being in the ring together.
Yeah. The more I think about this, though, Aries really should have just been a heel to begin with, because the problem
he was.
But like permanent heel almost. Like don't even go face.
They didn't have any faces that could go with Neville, so they had to turn him face.
Yeah, that's some poor planning right there, because you could have built up someone else. Because the thing with 205 Live is you have a lot of guys whose offense is kind of face to begin with. Like they're high flyers, they're exciting guys, and that can work as a heel thing, but you have to be really good at being a heel. And most of the roster, talking about Mustafa Ali, talking about... TJP did a better job than I thought he would, but I always think of him as more of a face. Rich Swann, Cedric Alexander, etc. You have an abundance of face talent, so to take the guy who's probably your best heel and make him a face was probably a mistake, because you don't have a lot of good, credible heels. You have Neville, who's worked surprisingly well as a heel, and that's it. So, he should have probably been heel permanently to begin with. They could have pushed someone else into that Neville feud.
Gee, I don't know. Probably Jack Gallagher, maybe. I don't know. People seem to like him a little bit, right?
Yeah. Or hell, do something with Grand Metalik or Lindsay Dorado.
I don't know who these people are. They don't exist.
Should be mentioned, there is a dude in the opening credits for 205 Live that I'm pretty sure isn't on contract, because I cannot find anyone on the roster that actually should look like he does. He's a white dude, and I think he might not be on contract anymore.
I think just the fact that you won't accept that is Ho Ho Lun, it makes you just very racist, sir.
If that's Ho Ho Lun, then he may have been a lot whiter than I thought.
You don't know? Could be adopted.
We get a quick recap of Neville attacking Swann, and then TJP has a chat with Swann, and this was good.
Yeah, it's good. Hey, the story progression, character progression. What are we doing here, boys? I don't understand. I thought we were in the slobber knocker business where we don't do anything in regards to making logical choices in any way, shape, or form.
It's a continuation of TJP's somewhat prolonged face turn. He is a little bit angry with Swann originally and calms down. He doesn't even really accept Swann's apology. He says you don't have to apologize, and then goes and tells him to get the business done against Neville tonight.
Dead business.
And then we get Rich Swann versus Neville, and this was very good. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, again, there seems to be a running theme of it's a very good match. I can't think of any single highlight from the match. It was the normal stuff that those guys are capable of, and they did it very well. And it was entertaining, and therefore I'll tune in again next week because I was entertained.
Yeah, kind of the sad thing is, like, we're getting kind of hyped for these matches that we can't really remember anything for, and we probably have seen these guys have better matches elsewhere. And WWE gives them a little bit of time, and they deliver really good matches. I don't know why they can't see this formula and just keep replicating it. That would be nice.
Thinking is hard.
Maybe bring that over to Raw a little bit as well. In the end, Swann goes for a Phoenix Splash, but he crashes and burns and falls victim to the Rings of Saturn.
Indeed.
Still not the greatest submission hold, but whatever.
I like it.
Really good match with a little bit of everything, and then Tozawa was also ringside, courtesy of the Titus brand, with his own velvet rope and his own snacks and his own hot dog. I think there was. Could
be. Might I point out that literally everything was purple, including the rope.
Indeed.
Enjoyable.
Like I said, the only thing I disliked here was the Cedric Alexander, Dom Dar, and Alicia Fox stuff, because I want that to end, but I don't know where to take those people.
Literally anywhere would be fine.
So let's move on to NXT, shall we?
Let's shall. I would like to point out that my notes stopped after the Jack Aries promo because I just stopped writing things down.
Fair enough. We opened up the June 21st NXT episode with Ember Moon versus Peyton Royce. Well, I mean, we open up with a bunch of talking, but in terms of action, we open up with Ember Moon and Peyton Royce. This was pretty damn sloppy. I'm hoping it's just Ember Moon returning from injury is what made it sloppy, because it's not normally this bad. She's not the tightest worker in the world, but it should be better than this. So I'm going to chalk it up to injury and hope so.
She seems to continually be recovering from injury, and when she comes back from injury, she looks like this, and then she gets injured. And then she has to come back from injury, and she looks like this, and then she gets injured. It's how her career's gone as far as I've been watching it. So maybe keep her off TV and don't rush her back into the wrestling scene right away. Maybe, I don't know, have her do some... Do they do house shows? She should do some house shows.
They do some house shows.
Knock off some ring rust. It's just an idea.
Yeah.
I'm not so... I know that they've been holding the title on... brain not working. Asuka, there you go. I was going to start singing 21st Century Schizoid Man, which is her theme song, if nobody's picking up on that. They're holding the title on her so that Ember Moon can take it off her. Why, I don't know. Because you've got a great storyline going right now. So, get with that program. I would not put the title on Ember Moon based on the performances I've seen. There's no way, shape, or form that you're going to be able to make anybody believe that Ember Moon is a credible threat. When I've seen Ruby Riott and my brain is not Nikki Cross, just not doing names today. That's just all there is to it. You've got those two in a program against her, and they're doing excellent work and are credible threats. So I don't know. Ember Moon is an attractive young lady and has some talent, and I just wish she could put it together for longer than 2 or 3 months at a stretch and get hurt again.
Yeah. I'm going to defend the Ember Moon champion idea, but at the same time I'm going to agree with you. The idea of Ember Moon winning the title came up at a time when the cupboard was kind of barren down in NXT when it came to women. It was not long after the big call-up, of course, that pretty much left her as the only real credible threat to Asuka. The thing is that since that time, you have recruited Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross, and they're doing fantastic work.
And Crazy Mary Dobson.
And they've, well, we have to see if she catches on real quick, but I have all the faith in the world that she will. But you've got these new women now, and they're probably better than Ember Moon in terms of their ability to stay healthy. Probably just full stop better. Have them take it. Like, change your plans as according to the injuries dictate and the acquisition talent dictates. So, yeah, I would have abandoned the Ember Moon push a while ago. She does seem to have a definitive issue with staying healthy. She does injure other workers. And you have better wrestlers now. So, ride on with someone more reliable.
Yarp. One question I had was, does the other Australian chick ever wrestle?
Yeah, Billie Kay will wrestle. In fact, she wrestled.
Not had her do anything.
She is not as good as Peyton Royce at wrestling. She did wrestle Ember Moon back once upon a time, and they, of course, have referenced a couple times that she injured Billie Kay.
Yes.
Which goes back to the Ember Moon. Slightly dangerous to work with, even, so... She needs a lot of work, and giving her the title is not going to encourage that work.
Correct.
This is one of those cases where, like, we talk about how WWE alters people's styles, and I'm always saying altering the style is sometimes a good thing if it's done in the issues of safety. This is one of those times, both for herself and for others. She needs to rework some of the things she's doing or become better at them. She wins with the Eclipse, which is her corkscrew top rope stunner. Then we have a Cassius Ohno and Hideo Itami backstage package where Hideo is apologizing to Cassius Ohno for shoving him. He's just very frustrated with his lack of success. He's not accustomed to this. And Cassius Ohno accepts his apology and also empathizes because he's also not used to having this lack of success, which is not quite true. Chris Hero has gone through some dry spells in his career, whereas like Kenta, who is Hideo Itami, has always been a big deal wherever he was, and this is kind of the first time he's really had to work his way up since probably his debut.
I would say that you are accurate in that assessment.
Still, it was a good promo because these two guys know what they're doing. Then we have...
I was a little bothered by the fact that they extra Japanesed it up with Kenta. I don't know why. Like, they barely had him say... They certainly didn't have him speak in complete sentences, and I know he can do that. So why is he being Tonto Japanese style? That's what I want to know.
Don't really know. Don't really have an answer for that other than WWE is racist.
Correct. I mean, point one time they've ever handled a Japanese star even remotely correctly.
You ain't gonna get an answer from me on this one.
No, not on the main. Well, I mean, you can point to Nakamura on NXT, but you can't point to Nakamura on the main roster.
They're getting better with Nakamura on the main roster. Someone may have finally said, "Hey, this guy is money. We spent a lot of money to bring him in. We should really actually do something with this investment."
Correct.
Then we had the Ely brothers versus Eric Young and Alexander Wolf. This was a fine match for what effectively was a training match. They're still working the Ely brothers to a point where they can be relied upon to do things in a match quite properly. And they put Sanity over. There's not really much more to say about it.
No, not really. I'm a little disturbed by the amount of nonsensical theatrics that the Ely brothers kind of go through. Like they pulled the double muscle, double spin move, pose down thing at the beginning of the match, and that was weird. And they keep chanting things, and they're not Tozawa, so that was weird. And it was just kind of, they're obviously learning, they're obviously coming along, but somebody needs to pull them aside and go, listen, dude, this is not the 80s. We don't do that sort of thing anymore.
They do definitely have a bit of an 80s, early 90s feel to them. That is true. But, they're athletic guys, big dudes, and they're better each time I see them. So, here's hoping.
Indeed.
Also, they have interesting names because they're very angelic in nature, with Gabriel and Uriel.
Oh, I thought we were saying urinal.
That would possibly be better in some ways. Then we had a Sonya Deville hype package. Then we had Sonya Deville versus Rachel Ellering. I don't really know why they're calling her Rachel Evers. So you got her dad on contract to use the name, but whatever. This was better than Sonya Deville's match with Lacey Evans, I believe is her name.
True.
But again, we have Sonya Deville going over girls who I think have a lot more potential in the business. And
yeah, it was.
I don't really get it.
It was like watching a 5-year-old wrestling with their teenage cousin and doing it badly, but then you just you let the kid get the pin, and she did the stupid glove spot again, and nobody bought it.
The glove spot needs to go. To go.
Nobody bought it again, and they need to. Yeah, it's bad.
The glove spot, another thing about the glove spot that doesn't particularly work is that no one else is wearing these MMA gloves. So, if your fists are so much more devastating without the gloves on, why are you wearing the gloves?
Yarp.
It makes no sense. You're not mandated to wear these gloves. Why
isn't she wearing a mouth guard to protect her teeth?
That too. If you're gonna go all the way with it, go all the way.
Is she wearing a cup? I mean, if you want safety, you gotta go all the way.
Mm-hmm. She like I said, this girl has a reasonable background in combat sports. Let's not overblow it. It's not substantial. And
They
she
even
is
said it
reasonably
on
athletic, and she gets the good PR for being the open lesbian on the roster and relatively attractive. So there are some things you could do with her, but she's just so very clearly not ready.
Yeah, they even said her record on the broadcast. She's like 3-1.
I believe it's actually 2-1, to be honest.
That's probably true. They're probably including amateur matches.
I think her matches are all amateur. I don't think any of them were pro.
I don't know. They said it was professional record, so.
Wow, I mean, this would be the first time they lie.
Exactly, but that kind of shit you just look up on the internet and you know the truth. There's no reason to.
Also, if they were pro fights, they weren't really pro fights, if you know what I mean. Like, at that point in your career, especially in women's MMA, you're not having what are really pro fights. You're fighting girls who are really effectively amateurs. Like, they don't have pro fights, or they're not really worth it. It's like if you there's a girl that Bellator is trying to push, and she's got this like actually pretty decent record of like 9-0, but then you look at the fighters she's bought, and it's a bunch of soccer moms, and that's women's MMA right now. Still,
that's a whole other kind of video on the internet right now.
Yeah, so this was not good. Like, the Ely brothers versus Young and Wolf was at least palatable, and this was not. Then we have Roddy Strong brawling with Bobby Roode on the Full Sail campus. Not really digging how they're handling this feud, but the match will be good, so I'm willing to tolerate it.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this is going to be that they don't have Roddy chasing the title for like the better part of another year before he gets it. I think everybody can be in agreement that Bobby Roode should be on the main roster already. Just give Roddy the title. Put Bobby Roode on the main roster. We can have the Hideo Itami versus Roddy Strong feud of the year. Everybody will be happy. Everybody will come out winning. You won't run Roddy Strong into the ground for the better part of 8 months, and then suddenly magically give him the title. Just do it the right way around. Would be fun.
Yeah, you desperately have a need for like good heels on the main roster, and Bobby Roode's a good heel. And the idea that guys coming from a long run in TNA Impact have to learn how to wrestle it's a bit silly. Like, I understand, go down there, do like a couple of months just to, there are some differences in the WWE style to wherever else. Okay, so we're gonna learn those. We're gonna knock it out of the park. Maybe do a title run. Boom, boom, boom. But he's been down there too long. He does not need it.
I mean, he was one of the hottest debuts since Nakamura, so just Nakamura spent way too much time in developmental for zero reason. I mean, maybe he scared the shit out of people when he broke Austin Aries' eye socket, but
yeah, I kind of get the Nakamura staying down there just because of the safety concerns, because there are some legitimate safety concerns about him. But Bobby Roode's style is like, what is he supposed to be learning exactly? Like, he knows how to be a dick. Possibly because he is a dick.
Although he is Canadian, so maybe it's an act. Maybe he's just very
I've heard that he is kind of a dick. But anyways, so he knows how to be a dick. He knows how to play his role. He knows how to wrestle, and he's a safe worker. Like, there's nothing to learn here. There's nothing. You could have had him in and out of there in, like, I don't know, 3 months tops.
Yeah.
And helping your main roster, which is anemic as fuck.
Yep.
Anyways, moving on to the main event, we have Cassius Ohno versus Aleister Black.
Nice.
And my first note here says, ooh, lots of time left. Nearly 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm. They're really good at actually giving main event type time on NXT, which I'm very happy about.
There is something I'm very let down about. So, on SmackDown, we had the Kevin Owens challenge, right? And they were in Dayton, Ohio. Guess who is from Dayton, Ohio?
Several serial killers.
Cassius Ohno!
Oh my goodness.
So they could have totally done Cassius Ohno versus Kevin Owens as opposed to the Chad Gable thing. Don't get me wrong.
Sounds reasonable.
I like Chad Gable. But you could have done Chad Gable like kind of later when you actually went to a city where it's like, we really don't have anyone on the roster from the city. Hey, Gable, how do you feel about doing a little skit?
True. I think it was important to get him back on TV as fast as possible, though.
It's possible. I will not deny that, but it would have been perfect time to give a little... because if you recall, during the John Cena challenge, they did bring up a couple NXT people to have a match with him. They were there they were there for one night only. It was a special deal, and this could have worked perfectly. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that on the same week that you're putting the guy in the main event.
Well, then you delay the main event. You do this match, next week.
Pre-taped, dude. They taped it months ago.
Fair point, yeah, but, man, foresight.
That's you're talking about the WWE.
I know, I'm talking about the WWE. They have no foresight, but I'm let me dream. Anyways, to the match itself. We get some dueling chants early on, and a lot more chain wrestling than I was thinking was going to happen in the early bit.
Yeah, that was pretty well done too. There were some parts of this match where they seemed to lose their rhythm completely, and it was sort of weird to watch them pick it back up and go back at it. But by and large, it was very well done.
Chris Hero has that when he's working with someone that he hasn't worked with before. I've kind of noticed, even in ROH and stuff, where his chemistry seems like it's a bit unique, a little weird almost, and you kind of got to really get a feel for it. So
they have worked together though. I even have it on Blu-ray.
Well, I mean, extensively is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I guess.
I remember his early matches with Human Tornado, for example, BWG. Kind of awkward, but by the end of their feud, 2 thumbs up, good gold. So, I would imagine that would only get better. Plus, I think was their prior encounters working kind of the same type of match?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
The one that I've got on Blu-ray is from Battle of Los Angeles last year, and they were actually in a tag team together, and they worked together really well. But I've seen them wrestle each other as well, and this is probably, if not their best one, then definitely one of the better ones they've ever had.
Okay. And then the second half of the match picked up with some of the striking that we probably kind of expected from this match. Not a lot of particular spots to come to mind, but just some good storytelling and some action. And I did like Chris Hero getting into, and I will call him Chris Hero. I'm just making no bones about that.
Yeah, I have real issues giving up on people that have, he's been Chris Hero his entire career, other than a quick blurb in WWE as Cassius Ohno a couple of times. And Tommy End has been Tommy End since Tommy End. And now he's Aleister Black. And Tommy End's easier to say, and B, easier to chant.
I will say, though, I like the Aleister Black name.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't really like the Cassius Ohno name. That's part of the problem.
It doesn't make any sense. He's not Japanese.
Yeah. Anyways, I enjoyed doing the meditation spot to try to get into Aleister Black's head, and it worked a little bit.
And Aleister really sold it, too. He did a great job, just kind of what the fuck
what are you doing? The trash talk was also pretty good, although the good or evil thing is a little bit weird. I think Aleister Black makes no bones that he's kind of evil. I don't. He's trying to be a hero.
Well, he himself has never said one way or the other, and the announcers have always put over the fact that he's his own guy. He doesn't follow a particular one thing or the other. So, I mean, it made sense in as much as it made sense to ask the question, but I don't think it really made sense to do it in the middle of a match.
Yeah, sweet ass moonsault by Black. Just not playing anything into the final count or anything. Just it was really good moonsault. And then Black counters the rolling elbow with a Black Mass kick and gets the 3 count. So he continues to be put over strong.
I like the fact that they really sold it as a timing thing, and that was probably the best chemistry they had in the entire match, because you got to see 2 guys. They really had to time this perfectly, and he really had to get there before. And I'm a little disappointed they're not calling it the Roaring Elbow anymore. I know it's
It's a better name.
It is a better name, and I understand.
Rolling elbows, he's not rolling, so it doesn't really make any sense.
Well, he's spinning, but I think it comes from I can't remember who it was that used it. It might have been Tanaka. But he did the discus elbow. But in Japan, they wanted to call it the rolling elbow, but of course, they mispronounced it, and it was the roaring elbow, which was even cooler. And I always remember when I was younger, if somebody used it, like for instance, Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka in ECW, he used it a bunch of times there, and they always called it the Roaring Elbow, and I always thought that was the coolest name. And now it's the Rolling Elbow, and I think it has to do with the PC reason of we don't want to insult the people who can't pronounce the English language. And like, I think it's just accidentally awesome. I don't think it's an insulting thing.
Also, I mean, come on, let's be real here. You insult the non-English speaking people all the time.
Correct.
With your caricatures of them, such as Hideo Itami, Taka Michinoku when he was in the WWE, Kenzo Suzuki when he was in the WWE. Like, I mean, the boat has sailed on offending the visible minorities. Let's be real here.
Also, Datatsu.
Yeah.
Also, Tajiri.
Yep. Although Tajiri seems to embrace that character, in fairness.
Yeah. Also,
like he'll take it. He takes it into like shoot interviews and stuff, where it's like, we know you can speak English.
Yeah. Yeah, he apparently was a big fan of Taco Bell, and he would always use, like, he'd do his character gimmick thing and try and, but everybody knew he spoke English, and I guess people were just not listening to what he was saying once on a road trip somewhere, and he just put, listen, dude, can we go get some Taco Bell? I want, like, so he can and will sprechen the English.
Yeah. It's just, I don't really fault WWE for Tajiri's lack of English in their programs, because he seems to love doing that. So, I mean, if that's going to be your gimmick, like, I guess embrace it. Yeah, I mean, it was a good match. A little clunky at times, but it was a good match, and ended the show on a high point. It's just that not really anything before this was any good. Kind of the problem.
Yeah.
So... yeah, NXT, it's a developmental territory. You get developmental stuff. It's bound to happen.
Yeah, like I said, this seemed to be the setup show for Roddy Strong versus... well, they made a bunch of announcements. Like, in 2 weeks, you get this. In 1 week, you get this. Mm-hmm. So, this was the show to let Hiro and Kenta get over, and, I mean, they'll go from there.
What would you do with the Hiro and Kenta stuff, actually? That'd be a good thing to talk about.
Have a knockdown, drag-out war for like 8 months.
Mm-hmm. But I guess my question is, I'm wondering who's the heel in that feud.
Kenta.
I would imagine Kenta, but I mean, Ono could also do the frustrated heel deal, because he's trying to do it, the right way. And he goes out there and loses to Aleister Black. You could have him lose 2-3 more matches.
Well, I mean... boom. If they're gonna do it the way that they have it set up now, it's gonna be, I mean, they might as well just have an alliance or a faction.
Mm-hmm. Which I would be less a fan of than having those two have a program.
Yeah, I'd rather watch them wrestle than like do the whatever they think they're gonna do, whatever kind of protectionism type, we're gonna have each other's back type thing, like whatever it is that they think they're going to do, I'd prefer they not do. I want to just see a war between two excellent wrestlers.
Yep, and then the winner of that feud can go on to face Roddy Strong for the title. Because by that time I would have had Bobby Roode. Again, I'd already have Bobby Roode on the fucking main roster, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean yeah, I would have definitely put the title on. I mean, you could have already put the title on Itami. You could have already put the title on. You could have put the title on a lot of guys. But if you're gonna do it this way, and if somebody had plans to put the title on Roddy Strong, then I guess this is the time to do it. But I wouldn't, like I said earlier, I wouldn't hesitate. I wouldn't beat around the bush. Just get the job done. You've had a really good section.
We really need Bobby on the main roster.
Well, there's that, but I mean, you've the timing's right. You've had the really good couple of weeks of promos and put him over strong. You had him go up against, no pun intended. You had him go up against the champ and come really close and look strong, no pun intended. And okay, a little intended. And now there's a bunch of heat on Bobby for being a dick to Roderick Strong, because everybody likes Roderick Strong. So if you don't have him go in and win the title now, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're just going to kill the heat that you've built. No one's going to care about the next time. We've already set the precedent that Austin Aries lost 3 times in a row and can't get the job done. Why should I believe Bobby Roode's going to lose?
Yeah, that's the problem. NXT is usually better about these things, so hopefully they do deliver.
Yeah.
Because again, there's no reason for that belt to stay on Bobby Roode, and I like Bobby Roode. This is not like he's a bad champion or anything. You need him on the main roster. Get him there now.
Get him off my lawn.
Anyways, that is the show, and indeed, get him off my lawn.